So this next section is going to cover the early reptiles and give you two examples of reptiles which are both extinct, however they are both very important keystone species. The first reptile is the Hylonominus. This species was present around 312 million years ago, going by its fossil findings, which were found in Nova Scotia in Canada. These fossils were found by John William Dawson in around the mid-19th centuries. The fossils of this species was found in tree stumps. It was suspected that these species went to live in hollow tree stumps which have been hollowed out by the rotting from the damp mossy environment. Looking at a basic cladogram of these species, reptiles originate from the amniotes and following on through the tree after the clade Romarina. This was the last clade for this species as it was a transition species. The next species to look at is to take a trip into the Triassic times, also known as the Age of the Reptile, as this is when the evolution and diversification of land organisms really took off. The dinosaurs evolved from reptiles over 230 million years ago, going so far back to the first dinosaur, the Eoraptor. This was a very small and lightly built dinosaur. This species was a Saurischia, which was one of the two orders within the Dinosauria family. However, again, I have made a basic cladogram to help visualize the evolution leading back to these early reptiles. In this section, I am going to discuss what it is that makes our environment and climate so different now from what it is that it was many millions of years ago, and how this has changed the way how reptiles evolve. Back millions of years ago, in what is known as the Mesozoic era, all of the landmass was joined together in one large C-shape, which was known as Pangaea. Pangaea was just this one large landmass that was large and C-shaped, and it straddled across the equator. Because it was just one solid landmass, this meant that the reptiles were able to mingle and move around all over this one great massive landmass. There were no polar ice caps at this point in time, and the temperature was relatively was relatively stable all around the Earth. Because there were no physical barriers, that is what allowed for the reptiles to roam all over. Because of this, once all of the tectonic action happened and Pangaea split up into the 7 different continents, as the landmass moved, it would have taken the animals and reptiles which were present on there with it. So now, reptiles have had to evolve over the many millions of years into what they have become today, and they have had to do this as they wouldn't have survived if they did not.
Tokay geckos are one of the largest geckos in the world. The body of a gecko is cylindrical and flattened on the upper side. Their body color varies from grey to blue and are covered in yellow, orange, or red spots. The head is large and set off from the neck. They have small muscular jaws and large prominent eyes with vertically slit pupils. The ears can be seen as small holes on both sides of its head. Their semi-prehensile tails allow them to balance themselves and grasp branches. These reptiles generally remain in arboreal niches like trees in rainforests or rocks. However, they have also adapted themselves to human habitats. It's native to regions of Asia, going from India to Bangladesh and Nepal, through to the Philippines, Indonesia, and New Guinea. Tokay geckos are mainly insectivorous, eating insects, crickets, or cockroaches, but they also eat small mammals like mice or small vertebrates such as other geckos.
The gecko is the largest and the oldest of the 3 species looked at in our project, with around 1,500 species worldwide. The oldest known ancestors to geckos were found preserved in amber in the Asian country of Myanmar, and it's estimated that they are from the Cretaceous period around 100 million years ago, when dinosaurs were still a dominant family roaming over a vastly different Earth. This long history may link to the great dispersal of gecko species in the modern day, and why they are found in so many different areas. the species found in Myanmar had very similar toe pads to modern geckos, showing that they have always been climbers, maybe using them to escape dinosaur predators. However, the tongue was not similar to any modern snake or lizard, showing an adapted predation method, maybe due to varying prey or hunting strategies. Insect species that they prey on would have also evolved over the millions of years, forcing the gecko to adapt in certain ways. However, the toe pads, which have always been useful, have remained unchanged.
The common chameleon, also known as the Mediterranean chameleon, is the only species of chameleon found in Europe. It's mainly some shade of green, yellowish or brown in colour. It has a prehensile tail, this means able to grasp, and four-toed feet that it uses to wrap around the twigs and branches it climbs on. Like most of them, it can change its skin coloration. However, it isn't a way to camouflage itself, but a response to temperature and feelings. Whatever the background colour is, the common chameleon will have two light-coloured lines along its side. It has a small beard of scales and some small hard scales on the top of its back. Common chameleons have another feature which makes them unique. Their eyes can move independently of each other, allowing them to look in two different directions at once. The common chameleon's preferred niches are trees and bushes. It's usually found in parts of southern Europe such as Portugal or Morocco, North Africa, as well as in countries in the Middle East. The common chameleon is insectivorous. It captures insects or fruits and is said to resort to cannibalism by eating young ones as an adult. It captures its food by projecting its tongue, which has a terminal pad, which grasps and adheres to its prey.
Chameleons are possibly the most iconic species of lizard, with fantastic and unique traits everywhere you look. They are also the second oldest species in our project, with the oldest known relative being 66 million years old, existing just towards the end of the dinosaurs. It is expected, however, that they are much older than this, evolving from a common ancestor with iguanids or agamids 100 million years ago. Evidence for this is, however, still not found, so as of 2018, chameleons are still only 66 million years old. This is still enough time for them too to have completed a relatively large amount of geographical dispersal. Being first found in Africa, researchers discovered that they dispersed eastwards when ocean currents best suited, and also moved to Europe and Asia. Also, nearly 50% of all 202 species are endemic to Madagascar, showing that although they evolved in mainland Africa, both species and geographical evolution have pushed 100 or so chameleons into endemism.
The Komodo dragon, also known as the Komodo monitor, is the largest lizard to exist. The combination of their long bodies, their forked, short, muscular legs, and an enormous tail makes them extremely strong and powerful. Its greyish skin is covered in small scales. The Komodo dragon has a long and sharp, curved claws that are often used for digging. The Komodo dragon possesses a wide, powerful jaw that is filled with deadly bacteria. It has two small ears which allow it to hear its prey. To detect its prey, the creature mainly uses its long forked tongue to sense smell. By flicking it out of its mouth, the Komodo dragon can taste scent particles in the air to locate both live and dead prey up to 8 kilometers away. The lizard's niche can vary from a tropical dry forest to a savanna. No matter where they live, the Komodo lives in extreme heat. They can only be found on 5 islands, the islands of Komodo National Park and the island of Flores. The Komodo dragon is carnivorous. It only hunts and kills large animals to survive. If they fail to kill it immediately, then they will hunt it down for miles until it eventually dies of the blood poisoning caused by the deadly bacteria in the Komodo dragon's mouth. Deer and water buffalo mainly make up the dragon's diet. The Komodo dragon cannot chew because of its serrated teeth. Therefore, its technique is specific. Initially, they knock over their prey by using their feet. Then they tear off parts of the carcass, throw it back, and swallow it whole.
The Komodo dragon is a relative baby of the lizard world, with identical bone structures found in fossils 4 million years old, 96 million years after the gecko was first found. It first evolved in Australia with 2 other species of giant lizard, which both died out, leaving just the Komodo dragon to disperse slightly westwards to Indonesia, where it is found now. The difference in dispersal rates is obvious between the 3 species when you look at how old the species is. Generally, the younger a species, the less dispersal it would have undergone, as there would have been less adaptation by its prey species and less geographical changes. Monitors are also a small family of only 79 recognised species.